Hello, everyone, and for having me. First, my thanks goes out to the Montgomery Artists Association. I want to thank Professor Michael Farrell and John Carr of the Montgomery College Rockville Art Department for putting so much belief in me and my work. Sorry, we don't mess that with the cheek wall here. I want to thank Professor Jamie Gillen of the English Department of Montgomery College Rockville campus, where it was in her EN 102 class where a foundation for a specific group of artworks began. I am an artist that enjoys artwork that has a pulse. I love imagery that stimulates the viewer and evokes emotional response. I just don't like art that is shocking for the sake of being shocking. I enjoy art that is stimulating with a purpose. Artists such as Lucian Freud, Egon Schiele, Jenny Saville, and Elizabeth Peyton have all done works that have defined their generations and how they convey the figure in unique 2D dimension formats. These four artists I have just mentioned are artists that have created images that stimulate and produce emotion. The Jenny Saville and Lucian Freud influence comes in a drawing I did of my deceased father, which was a project for my Figure 2 drawing course taught by, wrong one. That was my Lucian Freud. This was a project for Tendia Johnson's Figure Drawing 2 class, for which we had to do a foreshortening project that was idea-oriented. I took this photograph of my father on his deathbed, and I added my hand. This drawing isn't necessarily meant to be, morbid for the sake of morbid, but rather a endearing moment one more time that it's going to be me and my father. And I always want to do work that's personal, that, I'm really bringing you in with me and what I'm going through, and hopefully, we can both meet somewhere and empathize. The mark-making scheme that I saw in Lucian Freud's etchings really influenced me. Artists, this is a reference to Lucian Freud's last painting that he did. It was called The Hand, and it was done of his assistant, Dave Dawson. This is me and my cat. But if you ever see the painting of Lucian Freud's last one, The Hand, it was of his assistant, Dave Dawson, and Dave Dawson's dog. And Lucian Freud, he died during the process of that painting. The Egon Schiele influence comes about in the paintings I did of controversial celebrity Lindsay Lohan and the reclining girl. There's the Egon Schiele reference is the thick contour line that goes around the figure and the bright exaggerated colors in Lindsay Lohan. These colors and these thick contour lines around my figure flatten the figure and make the works that are conscious that they are pieces of art and not spot-on replicas of the subjects themselves. But Elizabeth Peyton is an artist who does paintings of cliché and redundant photographs of celebrities that she has never met. Elizabeth Payne's works are conscious that they are paintings of photographs and not the photographs themselves. I am sure if she wanted to, she could paint her subjects as well as Richard Estes, who is a landscape painter who does renditions of photographs and photorealistic paintings. But she goes a more creative route. At the time of Professor Gillen's EN 102 class, I was already trying to do drawings that made a social analytical statement. The drawing OkCupid was influenced by online dating. With that drawing, I wanted to point out how dating has evolved through society through internet culture, with new forms of seduction that never happened in traditional society. The class taught by Professor Gillen, all EN 102 students are required to write an article paper. I chose a paper emphasizing a certain form of feminist expression and woman empowerment. And I begun interviewing different, different groups and different people and different feminists. And there's old, I shouldn't say old, but there's one form of feminism. And then there's this new form of feminism called third wave feminism. And I went to interview this young lady, and she's the head of this group called, and it's got a really bad title, but it's the title of the group. It's called Slutwalks. And the reason it's called Slutwalks is this group is based out of Toronto, Canada. and then an off-duty police officer, he addressed a rape group, and he said, "I know I shouldn't be saying this, however, I recommend that women, should not dress up to be like sluts in order not to be victimized." The response was that some women formed slut walks and picketed the police station. Since then, the movement has spread throughout the world, including places India, Pakistan, Japan, Brazil, and America. And I wanted to do a portrait because at that time, all that influence about making a social analytical point came into me. As an artist, this is my body of work, and I wouldn't necessarily consider it on a marketable scale just yet. For my projects, when they haven't been college related, they have all been really personal, and they have a pulse. And yet I encourage you, as a viewer, to come in and stay a while.